What up, everybody? This is Mitch Darrell, and before we get into the video, okay, just hear me out. I got 3 huge favors to ask, okay? 3 typical YouTube favors, okay? So one, can you hit the like button, okay? The like button, just that little thumbs up. You can just click that real quick. We'd appreciate that. Second thing, can you hit the subscribe button, okay? I know it's a lot to ask. I know you subscribe. You know, you're really, really stingy with who you subscribe to, but I promise you will not regret it if you could subscribe to us. And the third thing, if you could hit the bell, just so you'll be notified anytime we post anything, okay? So those 3 favors, I'll be forever indebted to you. I appreciate it, okay? And while you're at it, if you could go ahead and check out my guys at tbk247.com as we change the culture for God. Peace.
In battle rap, because I think we had a DM conversation a while back. I asked if there was like a line you wouldn't cross. And we didn't finish the conversation, but I remember you were saying like, yeah, there's a line and certain things that you wouldn't touch or say. But obviously it's not like, I don't think you have a specific list of like, can't say that, won't say that. So it's like, do you have trouble writing sometimes? Is it like, oh, I wish I could say that, but I can't? That type of thing.
It depends on who you ask.
Right.
Like Saga has no line. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
I'm joking with you. Nah, but like for me, I think I just have the same rule of thumb as like who I am as a person. Like I just won't say nothing about your wife. You know what I'm saying? I won't say anything negative about. I won't say any sexual connotations, whether it's, you know, to a woman or even, you know, about a man's wife or his girlfriend or whatnot. So I try to stay away from stuff like that. Now, I always ask myself, is this beneficial?
Yeah.
Is this line beneficial to the goal that I'm trying to reach in this battle? And so, and sometimes that may include, hey, okay, you know, that it may sound like a violent bar. It may sound like I'm joking on them, or it may just be, you know, a theological question and whatnot. So I always try to make sure that that there's some benefit to it, even though it may not seem that way to the fans. But I tell the fans all the time, be patient. It's a 9-minute, I'm giving you 9 minutes of material, but you're not understanding what's occurring after this. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna open up doors so that I can go ahead and have a deeper conversation with whoever it is. And so it's a sport, bro. I kind of think of it as a sport. It's a sport, bro. I think that there's an entertainment aspect, so you gotta do stuff like that. And so it's not for everybody, you know, but for Loso, if you just ask Loso, I do, obviously you know this, you can clearly watch my battles and just say, okay, obviously there's things that he doesn't do that his opponent is doing. And there's unbelievers who catch on to that though. There's people who don't even know who I am and they're like, yo, wait, he just won and I didn't hear him first. I didn't hear him say this. Like they can't even compute that sometimes. And so, so yeah, there is a fine line as far as being a Christian, but I think the difficult part too is almost like, you know, it's a free angle to your opponents, you know what I'm saying? Because they could go ahead, like chess, you know what I'm saying? He did a whole round about the Last Supper and why there was no women there. Right. And the crowd's going crazy. And I'm looking at it like, what does that have to do with me? Like, why is my energy bar going low because of what you said? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, unfortunately, the culture is, they cheer that stuff on because, hey, at the end of the day, if God is real, they have to address something within themselves, right? But if he's not, hey, we'll go ahead and we'll just keep dissing them. So you get that fold, but then on the flip side too, with the Christians, with the church, right? You would think we would get a lot of support, but Mitch, I'm gonna be honest, bro, like it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy a support. I mean, unless you get like dudes who are diehard battle rap fans, you don't really have people who just says, man, you know what? We see what Loso, we see what Saga, we see what AWOL, we see what Street Hymns is doing. We just want, we may not necessarily agree with the methodology. We may not necessarily agree with the platform that they're, like with the people that they're entertaining or something like that. But we agree with them. We know that they're there for a bigger mission and we're gonna link arms with them. It's very, very few that you see people like that. And so that, I think that's the biggest struggle for us. The biggest struggle for us is that we are huge, huge supporters of tons of pastors, tons of Christian rappers and Christian singers. And sometimes it almost feels man, I want to be careful what I say, Mitch, because I don't want you to get, but I'm gonna say this. So I'll forget that. This is what I'm gonna say. It almost feels as if people are being strategically, they're being strategic in not approving us, not approving, not supporting us publicly. Right. It almost seems like, because you got to think about it, bro. It's like, there's no reason
to not
why Donovan Mitchell knows who I am. and there's certain guys in my camp, and when I say camp, our genre, right? That we don't even fellowship. We don't, there's no reason why I'm getting free tickets to skybox seats at an NFL game, or me and Ward, we was in Emmanuel Acho's apartment. He invited us over for dinner, you know what I'm saying, to go, to go watch Monday Night Football. Like to us, we think about it, it's like, yo, there's actors, there's football players, and then we're talking about guys who we feel like we're linking arms with, but it just seems like you almost have to be like, yo, we see it, but bump y'all, we're not really gonna be supporting and not like that. So that's the struggle, to answer your question. I named it, I know I broke it down threefold. That is kind of like the stuff that we talk about a lot on our end.
Right. I feel like it's weird to have the mindset of we see what you're doing, but we don't necessarily agree with the people you're with, when it's rap culture in general has always been very, I'm not gonna say anti-Christian, but there's a lot in hip hop culture that doesn't necessarily line up with Christian culture. So it's it almost feels like the perfect place for you to be doing this, where it's people who watch battle rap, a lot of them might not be believers. So if they're seeing a Loso battle, if they're seeing a Horseman battle, it's you could possibly be touching people, if that makes sense, or other battlers. So to me, it's perfect. We love to preach to each other, but not actually reach the world. That's who we're supposed to be reaching. So it makes perfect sense to me.
And there's several, I have several examples of just stuff like that happening. You know what I'm saying? Where we've been able to plant seeds. We've been able to have deep conversations. I've been able to build and cultivate relationships with these guys outside of battle rap. Right. And that's why it really doesn't bother me too much when we do get kind of backlash or whatnot, because I just know, look, first of all this stuff is you and I know, we have a biblical worldview. We know, the grass will wither, the flowers will fade, but the word of the Lord is the only thing that's going to endure forever. And so for me, I know for a fact, it doesn't matter what success I see or what success somebody else sees. The stuff that does matter, I see it, bro. Right. I see conversation. I mean, I have conversations with Beat Out about Jesus. Bad news telling me he's going to church. I have these dudes who are hitting my line, and I'm seeing something occur. Right. And you just don't know. We may not see the increase, bro. That's for God to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like we plant the seeds, God gets the increase, and we're okay with that. But you're right, bro. You would almost feel like people would be running to this because, Mitch, let's keep it 1,000, bro. There was the wave, 2 years, I don't even know how many years ago, when everybody was just you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and infiltrate this culture, and I'm gonna be a rapper, and I want to be in the Grammys, and I want to be in on BET, and I want to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to be a Christian, but I don't want to be a Christian rapper. I want to be a rapper that's Christian, so I can infiltrate. And I was just hey, we're doing it over here. If anybody's doing what you're trying to do, we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so why wouldn't you just say, damn, that's those are the guys that they're doing it in a field that we didn't think was possible, bro. And so so it's here, but that's why it's confusing to me as well.
When
I was younger, I would say you know how we all go through this identity crisis type thing when we're younger.
That's good.
Yeah, kind of you don't want to be
friends, indie friends.
Oh, okay.
So
do wonders like AI anomalies.
I know that, right? Saga, who was
rap on the same beats. You're definitely more lyrical. So you're not.
I actually knew a guy in Miami that he was going to the same.
And I tweeted last week that someday I'm gonna have a song with him. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen.